How often do you have an anime episode that introduces something that on a visual, technical, all rights level you think, man, next week this battle should be insane, it should be powerful, it should make the characters suffer, hell, it should kill some characters, and then either they just remove said threat within 2 minutes, or they deal with it in such a way that you're like, you didn't really live up to the cliffhanger that you kinda set out. That's basically most anime. This episode didn't do that. Not only did they deliver blow after blow, godly animation, great mixture of 3D and 2D objects, camera works. Hell, we have a giant monster that is mostly a 3D object. Her textures are well done, meshed in with the 2D environment quite well, and the overall speed, the velocity, just watching characters like Hsieh just, what the hell was she doing? I don't know, she was just running up tentacles, it looked like, and then we got our boy Leonidas just commanding a spirit army. This episode was pure adrenaline, and not only did they kill off Leonidas, they captured Hsieh, who's gonna become some form of monster, and they didn't even deal with the serpent. Holy shit. That is how you not only deliver on a cliffhanger, making it feel brutal and exhilarating, but they made it so they didn't deal with her. The only reason our characters aren't dead is because of Enkidu, and how there's like this twisted, warped view of like not wanting humanity to completely perish right now. You want to replace humanity. You're apparently some form of perfect creation that's going to replace humanity, but you also will let kids live because they're not a threat. There is so much going on with what we just saw, and I am just on an adrenaline high right now, being like, this is how you deliver on your cliffhanger. You don't blue balls us, you don't make it feel lackluster. They literally did everything they needed to, and the only thing that might have been an issue is the fact that Enkidu was able to say, hey mama, maybe we don't do this right now, they kind of screwed you over, let's make them suffer a bit longer. I was like, that kind of feels really easy, a really relevant excuse, but then you kind of start seeing that this guy, this god, is clearly got his own agenda, and it kind of makes sense on why he may be manipulating more than just humanity in general, and it's kind of amazing. I love this episode. I would literally show someone this who even hasn't even watched Fate just because it is impressive on a technical level what they were able to do. The episode, it eases us in. It's pretty comfy. It's pretty fun. You got Merlin saying he knows how to deal with hard to handle women, and because he's an immortal spirit, he can deal with it. And you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, you know, he got his side blasted, he recovered, and then it's like, oh wait, you know what? I can't actually deal with this person. I was like, alright Merlin, of course you can't. And just to see, I was like, what is this? Is it a bullet? Is it a rocket? And just to see the slicing, I was like, the power, the size, and what we were seeing with this creature, I was like, there's no way a simple sword could slash through that, heroic spirit or not. And then we see Hsieh come in and just, she's badass. I mean, anytime you see someone who's a little too flashy, you expect the worst, like they're gonna get a Game of Thrones death, being like, oh, they're looking like they're handling this giant mountain quite well, and then, oh god, the head just got crushed. However, here, you just feel like, even though there probably isn't gonna be a happy ending, seeing what she was doing, I was like, maybe they could actually kill this. And they start talking about how it doesn't actually feel like she's actually who she's imitating, and maybe it's like this weird fake creation or something, but it's like, who the hell cares? That thing is giant. That thing is blasting lasers at you. The whole, like, holy cannons that were firing, you know, just the treasures from Gilgamesh's vault, they weren't doing shit. They pretty much got destroyed. And you have someone who is just obliterating everything. And even with the speed and just the noble phantasms or anything that you're seeing, nothing was really doing much. Even though you were seeing, like, the blood and you're seeing the carnage, it felt like they were doing well, but nothing was bringing her down. And you're like, okay, that didn't work out, but we got our boy Leonidas. And he's like, yo, I'm the son of Zeus here. And you're like, damn right you are. And then he starts summoning it. You're seeing like these almost, they kind of look like holograms, or like these spirits, and they're launching their spears and they're doing all these crazy things. And you're like, even if she has these stone eyes like a Medusa, it doesn't matter. We got our boy Leonidas. His helmet cracks and you're like, it doesn't matter. He's a god, right? He's like son of a god. And then it's just like, oh god, they're just killing everyone, aren't they? I was like, it was bad enough that I thought they killed one and then they were going to kill a second. And then they're like, oh, nope, she's still alive. And then, oh god, nope, she's dead. And then, nope, let her live so she can become a monster. Like, what did this episode just do to me, and where's the future gonna go? I have no idea, but this is why Fate Grand Order is an absolute thrill ride. I feel like a kid who just like got every present he ever wanted and then like 12 extra that he didn't know he wanted, opening it up like 3 days early from Christmas. You're just like, I knew what I wanted, but then you're giving me that. It's way better than I was expecting, and then you keep on delivering. I thought, maybe Fujiwara would do something cool. We get a, I don't know, like Ren's counterpart looking character, she would come back in, like, there'd be a lot of things I was expecting, but then to see the whole Spartan and then like samurai angle and how it was so awesome, the camera work, this was the best camera work we've seen in Fate Grand Order to date. I love how they tried to make these characters, or at least Hsieh, look like a goddamn jaguar. She was fast, you couldn't even keep up with her. If you were to pause the episode, you would think the character model looks sloppy, but it's not. It's that because so much is moving, there's so many keyframes, they were just able to make this look so... You were drooling is basically how I'd put it. Because you were following these characters, you couldn't keep up with everything on screen. That's how well animated it was. The animators, the staff, were hyping up this episode for the production and how crazy it was going to be. This felt like we were watching a movie, something that was like an endgame boss battle for like a Fate movie, and we're only 8 episodes into this series. We are a 21 episode anime, and this is only episode 8, and this is what they delivered. This is what you would typically be used to, episode 11 or 12, wrapping up a first core. But Fate Grand Order, because it's absolutely batshit insane, balls to the walls insanity, you get this at episode 8, a third of the way through. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And even though it's so depressing to see the carnage, the amount of soldiers' innocent lives that were lost because of this demonic beast, even though we lost characters I really liked, and one of my favorite characters is probably going to become a demonic beast or something even worse, though she's getting a happy ending. The inspiring moment with Fujiwara just taking Leonidas' legacy and just doing whatever you can, rebuilding the wall, re-inspiring the troops who were just so broken and distraught, really was like the perfect way to wrap up this episode. You kick it off and you ease it in with some slight comedy, and then you're like, okay, yeah, this is pretty badass. And then you're like, yes, badass, oh god, that's scary, oh badass, and then goddamn, you're killing. But then they end it with, even though we're seeing so much despair, we're like, there's no hope. If this is just one of them, if there's more of them, literally everyone decides humanity needs to be gone, that's gonna be gone. We literally would have lost everything had Enkidu not been able to pull Mama back a little bit, being like, hey, here's a Snickers, why don't we calm down a little bit and let him suffer a little bit more? Like, there's definitely some 4D chess manipulation going on here, but should that not have happened, there would have been no hope. This would have been another failed grail. This would have been absolute chaos and turmoil. This episode, for being so flashy, so just production gift-worthy, you're going to be making so many of those, you're going to be seeing so many over Twitter and social media in general. Remove that. Remove the stunning production. And look at what it did. It showed us that our characters who were like, they're doing pretty well, they're struggling here and there, we got Gilgamesh, we're feeling pretty good, oh god, we're going to the underworld and we're not going to be able to come back up. It got despair across while also getting heroic feelings and, empathy and just all these other emotions where it's kind of this good versus evil, where back and forth, watching this action, it kind of flipped on who had the edge, and by the end of the episode, it looks like darkness has won. But then our main character, despite not doing anything for the combat in this episode, took the legacy of a fallen soldier, the commander who invoked the confidence of everyone to take that simple action to rebuild the wall, piece by piece, and in return, his legacy would live on. And light is starting to prevail. It's like a sunrise. It's always darkest just before the dawn. It's like kind of like that cliche classic trope, but it works so well after what we just witnessed. This episode was amazing. Easily my most enjoyable episode of Fate Grand Order. And yes, I'm sure there's going to be those people, those naysayers saying, hey, you just like it because it was pretty looking action. But how many weeks now have I got up here and complimented Fate Grand Order when our characters were just sitting around? They were chit-chatting, they were having dinner, they were being goofy, they were being silly, and I was like, this is the type of stuff I love because it lets you bond with the characters. It makes you have that emotional connection. So when episode 8 comes around and completely shatters them, it actually hurts us. These weren't mindless fodder. Yes, a good amount of the army, we didn't know their names, but we felt connected to them because of Leonidas. And him dying after seeing how much of a bro he's been, it crushes us because of the buildup. Those slower moments, as some people like to call it, aren't slow at all. They're character progression. They're letting us feel connected to the characters, and that's why episodes like these excite us, make us jump out of our seat when we see these characters on screen because they're being a badass, and it makes us want to shed a tear when it looks like their time has finally come to an end. This is the difference between a Fate anime that understands giving characters time to shine, progress, and feel like people before giving them spectacle, and then those Fate anime that are just pretty to look at because they didn't have the time to flesh out their character writing. Fate Grand Order is absolutely spectacular right now. It is goddamn amazing. I just feel like a little boy just cheering at the crazy action, but then when I tone myself down, I'm like, you know what? The reason I'm so excited and so destroyed all wrapped up into one is because of the great character progression. These weren't just random characters that, oh yeah, just a girl gonna be turned into a monster or, a cool looking soldier. No, I like these characters on a personal level, and I've complimented them and their additions to the story throughout the weeks, and it just crushes me to see what's happened, but I also feel like there's still hope because of that end sequence. Amazing episode. I don't really know what else I can add to this. It was just production A+, the sound effects and the destructive nature that you were hearing, the explosions, the voice acting, like everything about it just felt like you looked at it and you're like, well, duh, it's great. I love it. I'm near speechless. That's how much I love it. And I can just imagine that this is just the beginning of some of the crazy shit we're going to see with Grand Order. What did everyone think? I imagine there's probably a lot of happy game players after seeing the level of production that we just witnessed. But hey, whatever your opinion is, let me know down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you have been new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.